Autoline Daily is brought to you by Siemens PLM Software, transforming the process of innovation.
Here are today's top headlines. The Big Three bailout grows to $75 billion. GM wants more headcount reduction. And BMW and Hyundai are bullish on diesels. We'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Wednesday, November 12th, 2008, and now the news. The bailout for the Big Three has grown to $75 billion. Even though most news reports refer to a $25 billion package, there are actually three packages that are being discussed. The first is a $25 billion package to help General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler retool their plants for more fuel-efficient vehicles. The second $25 billion is to get them a bridge loan to get through the current economic downturn. And the third $25 billion is to pay for health care costs for retirees, and it's something the UAW is really pushing for. Put it all together, and the bailout now comes to $75 billion. And as it approaches a desperate situation, the Detroit Free Press reports General Motors will have to cut an additional 3,500 salaried employees in the next couple of months. Only 6 years ago, GM had 46,000 salaried employees, but this new round of cuts will take that down to only 25,000. And while the Detroit area is reeling from all these layoffs, here's one company that's hiring. Fisker Automotive, the specialty coachworks company, is opening a new engineering center in Pontiac, Michigan. According to Wards, the automaker says the new facility will develop its plug-in hybrid car, the Karma, which Fisker claims will get 100 miles to the gallon. A lot of diesels in the news today. BMW announced it's going to charge a big premium for clean diesel engines that meet stringent U.S. emission standards. The new 335D sedan and diesel-powered X5 will cost about $5,000 more than comparably equipped vehicles with gasoline engines. BMW also said it will cost $10 a gallon to refill the urea tank in those vehicles, adding another $50 or so to every service charge. And when you consider that diesel fuel costs roughly 50% more than gasoline in the U.S. right now, you gotta wonder if the diesel is dead on arrival in the American market. Well, Hyundai is bullish on diesels elsewhere in the world. It's coming out with an all-new 4-cylinder diesel engine available in 2-liter and 2.2-liter version engines for the 2010 Sonata and Tucson. Wards reports that the diesel will not make it to the American market because it would add another $5,000 to $6,000 to the cost of those vehicles. Boy, are we reporting a lot on the Russian market. Now, Fiat and Russian automaker OAO Solars are adding more models to their partnership. Wards reports that the joint venture will begin producing the Fiat Linera early next year and may expand to the B and C segments, possibly with the Fiat Bravo and Grande Punto. Coming up next, it's time for You Said It.
Siemens, transforming the process of innovation.
And now it's time for some of your feedback. This is You Said It. Every day we get dozens of comments and questions from you, our viewers, and You Said It gives me a chance to respond. And today I'm pleased to say we have our first video comment that came in from William Slate in New Haven, Connecticut. Will's comment is a response to our piece on the natural gas-powered Honda Civic. He took some issue with some of my opinions on the technology. His comment is very comprehensive, but it's actually too long to play in its entirety, but here's a snippet of what he had to say.
I don't think you considered two important things. The first is the supply. It's by no means clear that supply can increase to satisfy that demand. The next question is whether compressed natural gas cars are a good use of that supply, an efficient use of that supply. And the answer is clearly no.
You can watch the rest of Will's comment on AutolineDaily.tv. You'll find a link along with today's transcript, but I think the gist of what he was saying is that using compressed natural gas for cars doesn't make sense on several levels. For use in vehicles, he says, it only makes sense for fleet owners who operate trucks or buses. Good comment, Will. Here's an email question from Chris who asked, what do you think of receivership for the Big Three? Well, Chris, if any of the big three went into receivership, meaning bankruptcy, it would be a very ugly day indeed. The whole question revolves around whether people would continue buying cars from a company that's in bankruptcy. If they got the idea the company would ultimately emerge from bankruptcy, I think they'd buy. But it sure would hurt the company's image and instantly make them the butt of jokes of every comedian on every late night show. And finally, today's last question is from Pedro. If union laws are changed, he asks, does this mean the UAW will be able to set up shop in the non-union plants like Toyota and Honda? If that's the case, I guess they'll move those plants to Mexico. Well, Pedro, the Employee Free Choice Act, which is likely to be enacted next year, will make it far easier for the UAW to organize the transplants. But that doesn't mean the Japanese, Korean, and European automakers will move their production to Mexico. Remember, those plants typically cost around $1 billion each, and you just don't walk away from that kind of investment. Anyway, that's it for You Said It. Remember, keep feeding us your questions and comments and keep posting your videos to YouTube. Just remember, include your name, location, and try to keep them to around 30 seconds long. Do this and you just might be on our next installment of You Said It. And that's it for the top news in today's global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Visit our website for even more great content all week long. Autoline Extra, Dawn's Journal, podcasts, and even more. So click over and get the inside view at AutolineDetroit.tv.